What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we have Arkansas State's top 8. On the left we have John playing his Vespiquen Vileplume deck. The main thing to note is he actually cut an Acrobike and put it in a Draji for the Stardust. Maybe help out against Night March. Any Pokemon that plays special energies, you can discard the energy, make it where they can't attack you the following turn, which is pretty nice. It kind of helps out against Giratina as well. You can Stardust, they can't hurt you, Stardust again. And if they retreat the Giratina, they have to put a new Pokemon, and then you can retreat your Drachi and start attacking with Vespiquen. And let's see what happens. Can John make it past top 8 with this Vespiquen Vileplume deck? If you give me a second, we'll see the player on the right and see what they're playing. Alright, on the right we have Christian playing his Night March Gallade deck. We did see him in round number 5 playing against a Max Armitage, but once again he is playing the Night March list with Gallade and the Max's Galactic Glade, so that way he does not lose to Jolteon. That's the best thing I can think of. It's also, just a good attacker overall for Gallade, and Premonition is a really cool ability. But hopefully you enjoy this video, and let's see the game right now. Alright guys, here it goes. Arkansas State's top 8. Like I said earlier, on the left we have John, and on the right we have Christian. John is playing the Vespiquen Vileplume deck, and we know Christian is playing the Night March Gallade deck. And who do you want to see win? I guess it's like the battle of the two evils, like the two decks that people don't really like, Vespiquen and Vespiquen Vileplume and Night March. Everybody kind of pretty much does like these decks right now. But let's see who's going to win. Both players are shuffling up right now. Currently, I know John is from Arkansas and Christian is from Texas. So it's a battle of Arkansas versus Texas. Who's going to take home the victory? Can John defend his state? Can Christian bring it home for for Texas? Sorry about that. And he is still wearing his Make America Great hat. There we go. Can he make America great or not? That's the question. Does Night March make America great? But here we see both players cut the deck. We see some hand clapping going on. It must be people congratulating them for making a top cut. We see Christian Mulligan. Alright, and we're going to see both players setting up, put their prize cards out, and let's see what happens. Now, John will get a mulligan, which is never good. Like I said always before, if you are a Vespiquen Vileplume player and you get to draw more cards, you have a better chance of setting up that the turn 1 Vileplume. And we see a Pokemon start for Christian, and let's see what happens. We see an Oddish for Drew, going to draw from the mulligan and draw for his turn. And we see an Ultra Ball, going to discard an Oddish and a Trainer's Mail. Probably get a Shaman or a Combi, depending if there's Shaman in his hand. And a Combi does come out into play. And if John can get the turn 1 Vileplume, that is very bad for Christian because he can't play any of his item cards to discard his Night Marchers, which is never good. We see an Ultra Ball discarding a Sycamore and a Trainer's Mail. This will most likely get a Shebe, or maybe not. Let's see what he decides to get. He's going to see what's all priced. We'll see what he's going to get out of his deck. Looks like he is going to get a Shaman EX, and he's going to use setup to draw 5 cards. Now, usually these turn 1s are pretty long, but after that, they get pretty simple because all you can really do is just be revenge. We see a Bumblebee coming down, alright. And then we see a Shaman setting up 4-6. There's a Vileplume, DC, Trainer's Mail, Battle Compressor, Force of Giant Plants. Is that a Flow Stone as well? I'm not sure, but there's a Battle Compressor. Probably discarding multiple Oddishes. That's what he probably just needs to discard. I don't think he, unless he has a Gloom in his hand, I don't think he should be discarding Glooms. Looks like an Oddish, Gloom, and an Unknown. Alright, let's see. Does he have a Gloom in his hand or not? And we know he doesn't play Revitalizer either. We see, let's see what else John have. A Trainer's Mail. Look at the top 4 cards of his deck. He finds a Love Ball. This can get out a Gloom if he does not have one in his hand. It looks like that's what he's going to grab. Mr. Gloom himself. Now, John does have the Vileplume in his hand, but he does not want to put it down because, he can't retreat this Vileplume if he gets stuck in the active spot. We see a Shaman drawn up to 6. Can he find a Floatstone? I see a Combi in his hand. But now he can't put down any more Shamans. That Bumblebee is limiting his bench. And we see a Shaman just drawn 1. And, oh man, John had top deck an Unknown. So this is kind of the bad thing with Vespiquen Vileplume. Sometimes your hands are just really bad. And he can't put down Vileplume, like I said, but he has no more Oddishes. And we see a pass. And on the Christian turn, he gets the DC and the Battle Compressor, discarding a Lampets. And this is not looking good for John. If I was him, I might just scoop the game because, he's going to knock out your only Oddish left on the field. I think John discarded all of his Oddish with the Battle Compressor. So now I can't get any more Vileplumes with me. Christian can just, use all of his item cards, which is not good. Alright, so we see those get discarded. Shaman drawn up to 6. We see a Sycamore discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Looks like he discarded a Lysander AZ. Glade and something else. We see a Fighting Freeball, Ultra Ball, discarding a Joltik and something else. Probably getting a Shaman. Most likely, Christian is looking for a Dimension Valley to use the turn 1 Night March to knock out this Gloom and pretty much put him in a fantastic position. We see a Shaman setting up for 6. Can he find a Dimension Valley? He draws into Battle Presser and some other cards. Let's see, what is he going to discard? Looks like he's an Ultra Ball, discard a Lampent and a Battle Presser. Going to get the Joltik out. And does he have another Shaman? Maybe not. Maybe that's why he's contemplating getting the Joltik out. Maybe he wants another Shaman to help set up to draw into that Dimension Valley. But nope, a Joltik comes down instead. Maybe, like I said, he already has a Shebe in his hand. And that's why he's opting to grab the Joltik. And there's a Trainer's Mode. Look at the top 4 cards of his deck. We see a Town Map revealing 2 Shamans are prized. Oh, man, so 2 Shebes are prized. But John's still going to be, well, Christian needs to find a Dimension Valley. Can he find one or not? We see a VS Seeker. Going to grab a Sycamore. And we might just see a pass. And on to John's turn. All right, let's see what does John have. He does have the DC in his hand. He could DC Retreat the Gloom. But once again, his hand is just full of Pokemon. He needs a Sycamore or something to get out of this. We see a DC Retreat into the Bumblebee. We'll see a Vileplume come down to pass, own a Chris turn. We see a DC Sycamore discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Now, John is still not in a great position because Christian can just knock out this Bumblebee and have 2 attackers ready to go while John doesn't have any. And there's a Dimension Valley. We'll see a Night March for the knockout. And on to John's turn, he does have Unknown in his hand. What he could do is just promote Shebe, let Shebe take a hit. That's probably his best option. I doubt he wants to promote the Combi, and he does promote the Combi. Feral Letter with the Unknown, okay. We see another Feral Letter with the Unknown. Let's see what he draws to. A Vileplume. We see a Force of Giant Plants during that Dimension Valley. We see Shaman draw into. We see another Unknown come into his hand, but now John is kind of in a bad situation. He has his Combi just sitting there in the act spot, and we see Christian does have a Sycamore. And he can also just attack with Joltik as well if he wants to. Let's see what he decides to do. Does he Sycamore? Does he retreat and attack with Joltik? Let's see. What will he do? Now, John does have the Vileplume online, so Christian cannot play any of his cards. But there's a Hex Maniac going to shut down that Vileplume, which is not good for John at all. But John, maybe next turn, can put down some Floatstones. Maybe top deck a Combi or something. Get lucky. We'll have to see what happens. We'll see a Trainer's Mode grabbing the VS Seeker, maybe for a Hex Maniac the following turn. We'll have to see what he decides to get. We see 2 VS Seekers, 1 for Hex Maniac and 1 for Lysander. And what he can do next turn is Lysander up that Vileplume to take a knockout. We see a DC to the active. So that Night March, that Pokemon has 4 energies on it to use Night March. And we see a knockout on that Combi. Alright, on to John's turn. Let's see what happens. We see a Shebe get promoted. And this might be pretty much game for John. Christian does have a Lysander. Next turn, he can bring up that Vileplume, take a knockout. So John will need to knock out this Pumpkaboo. He can still play item cards, even because he is still hexed right now. We'll see a DC to that Shebe. We'll see a Skyrim turn for 30. But on a Christian turn, he does have the Lysander. He can bring up that Vileplume and take a knockout on it, making it where John can't have another Vileplume because he already discarded all of his oddages. So things are not looking good for John. 99% sure they're not looking good for him. But we'll just see a Night March for the knockout. Looks like Christian is not going to opt to knock out the Vileplume just yet. He is going to save it. He goes down to 2 prize cards. Next turn, he can just Lysander the Shaman. We see an Unknown Feral Letter. John does have a DC, but now he cannot use... This is not good because he's going to Sky Turn for 30, can't knock out the Pumpkaboo, and the Christian can just Lysander up that Shaman. So this is pretty much game because Christian does have 2 prize cards left. We'll see a Vespiquen coming on down. But he'll Sky Return for 30. Christian will use that Lysander, bring up that Shebe, take the game, and there we see Christian take game number 1. We saw John not really get set up. He couldn't get that Vileplume online turn number 1, which is not great at all. That's what really will come down to. Can John get down the turn 1 Vileplume? And if he does, can Christian draw into his Hex Maniac? Now remember, he only plays 1 Hex Maniac, and trying to make sure, yeah, 2 Lysanders. So 2 Lysanders are in the deck. I was thinking earlier, when he discarded Lysander, he wouldn't have another one to bring up the Vileplume, but he does play 2. So that's good. But, I mean, with John, he actually doesn't need to discard so many Odysseus. He needs to keep a 1/1/1 in his deck. So that way, if Christian does go aggressive, knock out the Vileplume, John can then, put down a 1/1/1 Vileplume if he gets lucky. because, you know, Night March doesn't have that much HP, as it is fairly easy to knock out with a Vespiquen, so you really don't need all those Pokemon in the discard pile to actually take a knockout, so he could save a 1-1 Vespiquen, 1-1-1 Vileplume line if he decides to do so, but here it is, on to game number 2, who's going to win? Both players are going to set up. Can John get the turn 1 Vileplume or not? Looks like he did start an Oddish, and we see both players getting 6 prize cards, and let's see what happens. Now, John actually leaves the Unknown in the active spot. I'm not sure how much I like this. You'd rather have the Oddish in the active spot than use Flowstone to retreat it, and having the Farewell Letter on the bench with the Unknown is what I would probably do. We see a Battle Compressor once again. John's discarding all 3 of his Oddishes. Like I said, I don't really like that play that much. We see a Acrobike discarding Bumblebee. We see a Combi come down. We see a Shebe drawn up to 6. We see an Ultra Ball Unknown. Another Battle Compressor, maybe. It looks like we see a Trainer's Mill. Looking at top 4. Gonna grab a Forest of Giant Plants. Now, can John get... I don't know why I keep saying John. Can John get the turn 1 Vileplume online or not? That's the big question. Let's see what happens. And if he does, does Christian have a supporter card in his hand? Let's see what John decides to do. It looks like he's eyeballing something. He does have an Unknown in his hand. He does have a Shebe. He has a lot of different options, but let's see what he decides to do. Oh, buddy. Looks like he has an Ultra Ball with discard. Maybe the Vileplume. That doesn't seem that big of a deal. And it looks like an Unknown. This would get a Gloom. And then we know he has the other Shaman in his hand, so he could set up, draw more cards. I just wish that John had put that Gloom in the active spot, or the Oddish in the active spot. We see a Shebe drawn up to 6. We see a Sycamore, Vespiquen, DCE, and something else come down. So Vespiquen, Flowstone to the active. We see a Sycamore going to discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Now John can still hit the second Flowstone to put on that Vileplume. That's what he really needs this turn before he gets the Vileplume online. We see a Battle Compressor. This would probably discard some Glooms. He already discarded all his Oddishes, so there's 3 Glooms being discarded. He does have a Vileplume in his hand, but like I said, he needs to hit the other Flowstone if it's not prized. He does play 2 Flowstones, so can he Flowstone the Gloom or not? We see a Love Ball. Going to search out Unknown. Going to use the Farewell Letter. So he has 2 Farewell Letters. Can he find the Flowstone or not? That's the big question. We see a Combi, Vespiquen come down. We'll see a Farewell Letter number 1. Come on, Flowstone, and that does not look like a Flowstone. Farewell Letter number 2. Come on, Flowstone, and that's okay. Another Vespiquen comes down. He does have an Ultra Ball. He can once again Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards, getting a Shaman, and then use Battle Compressor. It looks like he's gonna opt to keep the Sycamore in his hand. Gonna get the Combi down, put down the Vileplume, and on to Christian's turn. Now this is not good because Christian can just license up this Vileplume and make it where John can maybe just duck out if he doesn't knock out this Vileplume. There is 1 DC in the discard pile as well, so John has 2 left overall. He could manually retreat this Vileplume, but Christian does play 2 Lysanders, so he could just license up that Vileplume, keep passing, and deck out John, which is not good. Unless he Christian gets, or does he get anything or not? We'll just see a pass, most likely. We'll see a retreat into the Vespiquen, and we'll see a Beer Bench for the knockout. And can Christian find the Pokemon or not? There's a Joltik and a pass. Alright, on to John's turn. We'll see another knockout, and we'll see a teammate's going to search for 2 cards out of his deck. One would probably be a Pokemon, and the other one probably a Sycamore, maybe a Hex Maniac. I'm not sure what 2 cards he grabbed. They were kind of really quick. I think one was a Joltik for sure. The other one could be a Lysander. Like I said, what we can do next turn is Lysander that Vileplume, get it stuck in the active spot forever, and deck him out. We see a DC going to the active. We'll see a Night March for just 20 damage. Yep, just for 20 damage. On to John's turn. We'll see a Night March for the knockout. And on to Christian's turn. Let's see. And we'll see Christian actually just scoop the game, saying, "Hey, I can't do this. You're gonna win it." So on to game number 3, John did get that turn 1 Vileplume. Even though he didn't get the Flowstone on that Vileplume, it was still worth it, I guess. But like I said, I think the only thing he should have done was put the Oddish in the active spot, attach the Flowstone that way, so he could have just free retreat and used Farewell Letter whenever he wanted to. But still, it worked out. And on to game number 3, who do you want to win? Do you want Night March or do you want Vespiquen Vileplume to win? Now, Christian will have a turn playing item cards, maybe 2 turns, depends on how long it takes John to get down his Vileplume. And this is not good for John. You definitely want to win the coin flip going first in the Night March game. Win game number 1. Game number 2, they pretty much just beat you. And then game number 3, you win because you go first and get the turn 1 Vileplume. But let's see what happens. Maybe Christian will just start a basic Pokemon and just pass, and then John can get out of Vespiquen, take a knockouts. But we'll see what happens. Who do you want to win? Vespiquen, Vileplume, or the Night March? Like always, I will always cheer for Vespiquen, Vileplume. That is one of my favorite decks at the current moment. Both black players are setting up. Let's see what happens and who is going to take this top 8 victory to move on to top 4. We see both players setting up, put 7 cards in their hand, and let's see what happens. Alright, so Pumpkin Boo start for Christian. Both players will get 6 cards, and we see John once again starts with an Unknown and an Oddish. I'm not a big fan of this combo, but we see a Battle Press to turn 1 from Christian, going to discard 3 cards out of his deck, and let's see what he decides to discard. Maybe 3 Lampets, maybe 2 Lampets, and a Supporter Tech card. The only problem with discarding your supporting Techie cards is you can't VS Seeker for them later, so you actually might need them in your deck. We see 3 Lampets being discarded. We see an Ultra Ball, discarding a Puzzle Time, and a Ultra Ball. This will probably get out of Shaman EX that Christian does not have a supporter card in his hand. And let's see what happens. And there's good old Shebe coming down to shine. And this turn, both these turns are probably going to be really long, but after that, they're going to be really fast, as we saw in the last 2 games. You know, afterwards, people just attack and attack and attack, and that's pretty much it. We see a Shebe drawn up to 6. He has an Ultra Ball, Sycamore. Now, I'm not sure how much of a fan I am attaching that DC early, because John could knock out that Pumpkin Boo and put a Christian down to 3 DCs left in his deck. He will get the turn 1 Judge to put John. I don't know why I keep saying, if I keep saying John, I apologize. I'm not sure why I keep saying John, but if I keep saying Drew, I'm sorry, but we see if he gets the turn 1 Judge, he can put John at 4 cards, but he should have, what, 5 cards in his hand, so I'm not sure how much that Judge is going to disrupt him if he does decide to do that. We'll see Shaman setting up, okay. We see a Dimension Valley, Battle Compressor, or not Battle Compressor, Fighting Fury Belt, VS Seeker, gonna get back a Sycamore and a Judge, so he will Judge John down to 4 cards, but like I said, John should already have 5 cards in his hand. So he basically gets -1 because he put 2 down when he started with 7. And let's see what does Christian get. Does he get another supporter card for the following turn? And we see a Trader's Mode. Look at the top 4 cards of his deck. Going to grab a Battle Compressor. Going to thin some cards out of his deck. Maybe just trainer cards that he really doesn't need. And that 1 Lampet. Looks like he's going to Lampet Pumpkin Boo. Alrighty. I mean, he should already have enough Night Marches in the discard pile to knock out like a Vespiquen regardless. It only has 90 HP, so you need 5 Pokemon in discard pile. Maybe he needed it, but we see a Shebe drawn up to 6, a Fighting Free Belt to the Joltik, another Trainer's Maul, and let's see, he can grab the Sycamore, so he has a supporter card for the following turn, and it's not looking good for John. We'll see a pass on to John's turn. Let's see what happens. He does get an Ultra Ball off that Trainer's Maul. We'll discard a Vileplume and a Vespiquen, maybe. This will probably get out a Shaman EX, unless John already has one. Or did John prize all of his Shamans? That would be very crazy. Kobe coming on down. Maybe John, like I said, already has a supporter card or a Shebe in his hand. And let's see. We see a Shaman drawn up to 6. Can he find a Forest of Giant Plants? I do see a DCE. I see a Unknown Pharaoh Letter drawn a card. Trainer's Maul. He does hit a Sycamore. I think he grabbed the Sycamore. I'm pretty sure that's what he grabbed. Ultra Ball discarding Double Gloom, which is sometimes not good. I mean, if his other 2 Glooms are priced, he could be in trouble. There's another Shaman EX coming on down. Alright, and let's see what else does John have. Okay, does he get the Forest of Giant Plants? We'll see Shaman setting up for 6. He draws in a Battle Compressor, Oddish, Shebe. Not sure what else was in his hand, but Battle Compressor will probably discard 2 Oddishes and a Unknown. I was going to say 3 Oddishes, but 1 Oddish is in his hand already, so no real need to discard that one. And we'll probably see a Sycamore discarding a, I'm not sure what that was. Hopefully Christian can show us. Looks like we won't be able to find out what he discarded, but we'll see what happens. Can John get out this Vileplume or not? And can he get a Flowstone on it as well? We see a Forest of Giant Plants, so that's step number 1. We see an Acrobike, getting the Unknown. I think I would grab the Acrobike instead of the Unknown, because you could Acrobike draw 2 more cards instead of just the one with the Unknown, which is kind of weird. We see a Lava Ball. This might get out another Unknown if he has one in the deck. We'll see a Gloom coming down. Alright, and does John have the Vileplume in his hand? I think he already discarded 2 Unknowns in the discard pile. There's one in the active, so maybe the last one is prize. We see a Flowstone to the Unknown, retreat into the Combi. We'll see a Pharaoh Letter drawn a card. And what does John have? Oh, man. We see an Ultra Ball discarding Sycamore and a Sycamore. Could get out another Shaman EX, and that's what we're going to see. Shebe coming on down. one more time, and let's see what does John get. We see a Shaman, a Jirachi and a Shaman drawn up to 6. He gets, oh my goodness, he gets a Flowstone and a Vespiquen. So there's a Flowstone, okay. Yep, okay. So Vespiquen comes down. We're going to look at the discard pile, see what's all in there. And I think John has his turn 1 for sure. I think he's got the Flowstone and he's got the Vileplume in his hand. We'll see is that a Flowstone or Jirachi? Oh my goodness. I hope that's not a Flowstone. I think he attached Flowstone to Jirachi. I think I'd rather attach to the Vileplume, for sure, because Jirachi only has a 1 retreat cost. But on to Chris' turn, we see a DC going down to Joltik. We'll see a Hex Maniac turning off the irritating polling from Vileplume, and we'll see Christian take a knockout. Alright, we see a DC onto Jirachi, and we'll see a Stardust. Stardust will do 10 damage, okay. But, I mean, all Christian has to do is pass and not put a DC down, and he'll be okay. So we see a DC being discarded. Joltik does have resistance to steel, if I remember correctly. We see a DC to the Shaman. Sycamore going to discard his hand, draws 7 new cards. So what John can do next turn is retreat to a Shaman, because it does have a Flowstone on that Jirachi. So that actually is a very interesting play. And we'll see a pass from Christian. On to John's turn, he'll probably retreat, but I'm not sure he will send up a DC onto the Shaman. Retreat, and we'll see a Sky Return for 30, promoting a new Shaman. So this is a very different approach, but I guess it will work out against Night March. Alright, let's see what Christian decides to do. We see a Lysander bring up the Vileplume, and this is what I was scared of. Oh man, will John just deck out now? Does John have a way to retreat this Vileplume? Does he have enough energies or not? That's the big question. Who has more cards left in deck is my real question. We'll see a pass from Christian. We'll see a pass from John. We'll see a pass from Christian. We'll see a pass from John. A Dimension Valley coming down. Okay. We'll see a pass. And, oh man, 3, 4, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh man, Christian has more cards left than John. This is not good for John. It looks like it might be game over. He needs to find 2 DCEs. And we're going to see how many cards are left. I think John has the fewer cards. And this passing game is definitely look like it's going to be against the Vespiquen Vileplume player. Unless I did the math wrong. Christian look through John's discard pile to see what's all in there. Now, Christian does have a Xerosic. So any moment he can discard that DC off the active. We'll see a DC attachment, but he does have the Xerosic. Discard that DC, and that will pretty much be game now. Oh man, this is not good. And this is what I was fearing. Not putting the Flowstone, only Vileplume could end his game. And we see John, he's going to deck out, and Christian will take the game, winning a 1-2 series. Alright, so there we go. Christian taking it, lights into that Vileplume, and pretty much winning the game there. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. You can see how, strong both these decks are. John, if he gets down Vileplume turn 1, you can kind of shut down Night March, but Night March can still easily beat Vespiquen Vileplume if they get pretty lucky. He does have John and Christian. Oh my goodness, Christian did have the Xerosic, so you could Xerosic the Flowstone off a Vileplume as well, then Lysander it up. That could be interesting play. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye.